How does it feel to smell your own mortality? You know, there's nothing more pathetic than a dead god. So do yourselves a favor. Don't follow us.
Lucy Lawless has had some of the most powerful roles on TV in shows like Xena Warrior Princess, Battlestar Galactica, My Life is Murder, and even Parks and Recreation. But now she's taking on her directorial debut to share the story of a pioneering camera person, fellow Kiwi, Margaret Moth, in Never Look Away. This documentary caught it over the last 24 hours, Lucy. Very powerful. What's it like to be behind the camera now? I mean, you're kind of laughing at your Xena Warrior Princess days just there. This is a much heavier subject matter here. Why did you choose this as your directorial debut?
I really feel like she chose me. It was never my idea to direct. I don't know how this happened, but by the time I committed to the idea and they committed to me, there was no backing out. So the only way is forward, and that's how I feel like Margaret forced me to reach my potential.
So let's tell people about Margaret Moth, because some people, especially if you're not sort of familiar with the intricacies of, war journalism in the last 30 years, Margaret Moth's name, if you are in it, you know her, but a lot of people don't.
No, and New Zealanders don't. So that's who I was making this film for. It's about this mystery woman shows up in Texas during the oil boom, 1980, and can't remember anything about her past, except that she was a camera person from New Zealand in news. And she embarks on this odyssey of sex and drugs and punk music with all sorts of young men, and eventually goes off to war and discovers her new drug,
Yeah.
And then catastrophe ensues, and through this horrifying process of healing from a terrible wound, she kind of discovers her most perfect expression, her grace. She never wanted to have children. She found her children, who are the children of war. And she's really just, it's a way of bringing honour not just to her, but all her colleagues who, even as you and I sit here, are facing imminent danger, even death, to bring the story of the children of war.
Yes, exactly. She held up the mirror and held up the camera really to show the rest of the world what was going on. In some instances, you highlight in the documentary, instances where other, perhaps even more experienced camera people weren't standing up and taking pictures. They were rather ducking for cover. But she felt it was so important that she stood up and compiled the record.
Yeah, she felt very much that she always made calculated risks. She wasn't reckless. Other people, had a different metric, perhaps, and they would duck down behind the cars, and who could blame them?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
They're facing madmen with guns.
And let's talk about the people that you talked to about Margaret, because you talked to a wide range of family, of colleagues, fellow journalists, etc., all really painting this incredibly diverse picture of someone who, like you said, was kind of unknown beforehand.
Yeah, she's a highly unconventional person, and therefore quite weirdly inspiring. She was a bad girl who learned to walk on the side of the angels, but never denied her shadow side. You get a bit judgy about Margaret because she did some things that are outside. She coloured outside the lines of society, But she was so honest about it, and she achieved so much when so much had been taken away from her that you go, well, who am I not to reach that little bit higher for the thing in my life that I desire? That's
And she really seemed to have a sense of right and wrong, and if she saw someone being wronged, even while she was on a shoot, she made sure that people knew.
Yeah, that's one of the ways she nearly got herself in terrible trouble many times. She bitch slaps a policeman in Iraq for hurting her. It was just a knee-jerk reaction, but.
So, Lucy, let me ask you this. This was your directorial debut. You've put together this really compelling and fascinating documentary. Does this whet your appetite for more? Is this something you now want to transition to, or would you prefer in front of the camera? I mean,
I'm afraid I do want more.
Yeah?
It's like I'm trauma bonded to the job, you see.
Yeah.
Now I just can't wait to get myself in a whole host of trouble, because you've never been so terrified. You've never been through such a painful thing as directing a film. It's a little worse than childbirth because it goes on a really long time.
Right, no kidding. Well, listen, it is a pretty fascinating documentary. Lucy Lawless, good to meet you. Good luck with this.
Thank you.
This is pretty stunning stuff. Appreciate the time. Thanks for being here on CP24 Breakfast. Appreciate this.
You won't see me break, call you up in 3 days, or send you a bouquet saying it's a mistake. Drink my troubles away, one more glass of champagne, and say that I'm not perfect, and you're the first to say you want the best thing.
Oh, sorry, my eyes were closed. I went into a trance. Welsh singer Jamie Miller has come a long way since his days on The Voice UK. And he is here today, becoming a TikTok sensation, by the way, along the way. And he's in the midst of a worldwide tour, performing at the Garrison last night and joining us bright and early. First of all, Jamie, welcome.
Thank you so much for having me.
I wish our
appreciate it.
viewers could actually smell him right now, too, because you sound heavenly, you smell heavenly.
Thank you.
And listen, congratulations on all the success.
Thank you so
and I
much.
wasn't kidding. Like, when I listen to your stuff, my eyes just close, and I just want to take it in because you have such a beautiful voice.
Wow.
But you've had quite the journey.
Quite the journey, yeah.
But first of all, how was Toronto last night? Did we come through?
You did. I feel like coming to Toronto is always my favorite. The crowd's amazing. They're amazing singers too. Like, I felt like a little bit awkward putting the microphone out. They sounded better than I did.
So can we talk about that for a second?
Yeah.
You put the microphone out and people are singing back your
Yeah.
songs. Like I have no concept of what that could feel like, but how does that feel?
It's like the most bizarre feeling. I feel like for me, I've always wanted it. It's always been my dream.
Yeah.
So, and I've done a lot of tour, like, support acts. Like, so I've gone on before, like, the main guy, and I've always
Yeah.
wondered what it feels like to be the
The main guy?
And now I'm finally being able to be the main guy.
And
so
you are the main guy.
I love it. It's like, I'm very grateful to be here.
People don't realize you've had quite an interesting journey to get to this point as
Yeah.
well. Just to refresh everyone's memory, Jamie was actually on The Voice UK in 2017.
Yeah.
You sang one of my favorite songs to this day, which is Let It Go by James Bay.
I wish I did it better. Like, that's the one performance I'm like,
Are you
"Dang."
kidding me?
Yeah.
To be honest with you, I thought you actually did it better.
Oh, no
Anyhow,
way.
but
thank you.
But that show obviously changed your life. But you know, a
Yeah.
lot of people do come on these shows and they kind of just go off what you did so amazing. And how was being on that show reassuring that you were indeed on the right path?
Honestly, full transparency, I went on the show just because I wanted to quit my job. Like,
Yeah.
I was in the call center fixing iPads. I ended up getting fired. I wasn't great at it. So I was like, how can I get into music somehow? And I ended up going on it, going further than I thought I would. And it just, like, kind of reassured me that, like, dreams can come true and there's more to life than the street that you grew up on.
Absolutely.
As cliche as it sounds, but, like,
It's not cliche.
came from a very normal background. So, like, to be able to travel the world and say that music is my job is mind-blowing to me.
Well, listen, I get to talk to people like you, and that's my job, which I consider it pretty lucky too. Do you
There
know
you
what I
go.
mean?
Grateful to be here.
We all have to play our
Yeah.
part, but in the cards, like
Yeah.
that song. Like, tell me, let's get real here, spill some tea. Where is that coming from? Because you read the lyrics, you listen to your vocals, it's so raw.
Yeah.
And it's just like your vocals are so controlled, but it's like, to be able to sing a song like that, it's got to come from somewhere. So who are we singing about?
I feel like I tend to fall in love with the wrong people. I guess you could say that.
Oh, here, hold my hand. You and me both, honey.
So I feel like the people that sometimes get involved with give me a lot to write about. I feel like I went through a really bad breakup back in 2022 that just kind of made me just reassess life and who I wanted to be and who I wanted to, like, be in my life. And I think In the Cards was the thing that helped me move forward in my next
Good
chapter.
for you.
So, yeah.
And it's therapeutic. And it's
Yeah,
like,
it is.
And you know what? And that's why people are able to relate to music so much, because it's real life and
Yeah.
you're singing about real life. And people can tell when it's not real, but when you sing these lyrics, like, you can tell. That's why I was like, I have to ask
I
you.
like you.
What is this? Thank you. Thank you. I like you too. And I love your teeth. We were actually crushing over each other's teeth. I feel like we should do like a teeth commercial at some point.
Let's
But
do it.
listen, you still have a few more cities to
Yeah.
go. What's after that? What's after the tour?
So I'm finally putting out my debut album this year.
Okay.
Yeah, which I'm really excited about. I've done a few EPs now, and I think it's time to, like,
It's time.
finally do the album. So that should be coming out later in the year. I haven't announced it yet. So
Okay, do you
this
wanna
is the
announce it now?
this
Live
is the
TV?
Yeah, this is the first time I'm announcing it. Debut album, and yeah, I'm just excited to be. I'm going to America next to finish off the tour, and then
Do we have an idea, like, around when we're getting this debut album? Like, just around the month? Like, are we talking fall,
just a little bit
winter?
before fall, I would say.
I love that you just gave us an
There you
absolute
go.
exclusive. Hey, really quickly,
Yeah.
you also have millions, I think like 3-point-some million followers on social media. These days, you know, it can be a great platform. It can also
Yeah.
be a scary platform. But how have you found that balance where you know when to tune in and you know when to tune out, because people engage with you?
Yeah, I think for me it's more so I just use it to, like, I've just always loved social media. I
Yeah.
think it's an amazing way to connect with your fans, and they changed my life. So it's kind of easy to like interact with people that you know have got your back. Do you know what I'm saying? And I think everybody goes through like what I've been through, like with heartbreak. So it's kind of easy for me to like tap into my community. But I would just say like, it's just fun. Like, I'm grateful that I'm
Well, not
able to do
everybody
it.
sounds like you. And not everybody looks like you. So congratulations on all the success. I can't wait for the debut album, and thank you for giving us that exclusive. JB Miller, you guys go follow him. And here's In the Cards. We're going to leave you with that. Just close your eyes and listen to it.
Thank you.
Thank you, JB.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Dubbed the world's best Lady Gaga impersonator, Athena Reich is taken to the stage as the Mother Monster, or the Monster Mother, pardon me, for one final swan song. Get this, before trading her iconic outfits for hospital scrubs and a stethoscope.
So we'd like to welcome back to CP24 Breakfast, Athena Reich. So lovely to have you back here on our couch. You said you were here kind of 7 years ago, just when you were starting the show, which is 10 years in the making. So congratulations. But I'm so fascinated because you wanting to go into medicine right now, become an OBGYN, is kind of related to how this whole show got started. Tell us about that.
That's right. I started as a Lady Gaga impersonator sort of by fluke. I made one video 14 years ago and it went viral and I started doing her work. But then when I started going through IVF, which can be very difficult, take years, it was a dark time, I needed levity. I needed to make myself laugh and distracted me, and then Lady Gaga #ArtBirth was born.
So can you imagine that what you delivered in terms of the project, etc., has blown up to be so big? I mean, considered to be the best Lady Gaga impersonator in the world. It's remarkable.
It's just one of those things that I fell into. You know, you have an idea, I'm going to go to New York and be a very serious, Broadway actress, and then I just rolled, went with the flow. Doors opened for me as a Lady Gaga impersonator. Lady Gaga herself tweeted and supported me, and I was like, okay, I'm just gonna ride this wave.
That's
it's
incredible.
fun, it's really fun.
Oh my gosh. And aside from being an actress and a stand-up comedian, I mean, you are just multi-talented. You've put out 5 albums, and this show has been running off Broadway, but now you're coming back to Toronto from May 2nd, and another show has been added for May 5th. This is kind of your swan song. So how are you feeling about these final performances?
It's so heartwarming. It's so beautiful to have a show that has legs, that just has a life on its own. It's easy. When we're in rehearsal, I'm making new jokes and adding to the scripts, updating it as it goes. It's got such good vibes. It's like I worked with the same choreographer for 14 years. I auditioned him in Broadway in a tiny little studio, and he's been my choreographer since. So it's like, it's family and it's love, and it's like he's seen my kids grow up. It's beautiful. It's heartwarming.
So what do you think, Athena, that you'll take from the stage show that you created to the practice that you'll be working in? I mean, how do you think that's going to overlap, if at all?
Well, I do think that, as I'm walking down the halls to my next patient, I might do a little rah-rah here and there. I envision the hospital I work at is going to want me to perform at like a holiday party.
Right.
And I don't know. Who knows? I might still do my show and now and then, but I think it all kind of makes sense. I don't know. It all fits together.
I was thinking OBGYN, like Born This Way, kind of goes hand in hand.
Yes, I could sing. There's that doctor on social media went viral. He sings Happy Birthday. Maybe I'll say, you were born today.
Oh, my God. Very fittingly, A Star Is Born, and you do several renditions of, Lady Gaga as she was in that movie. Before we go, you've given us a few samples, but what is your favorite Lady Gaga song to perform and favorite costume to put on, and maybe give us a little sample of what people can expect to hear?
Yes, so the show features me pregnant as Lady Gaga doing a live onstage birth as a gift to her most devoted fans, and then she has the baby, and it's a lot for her.
I
love it.
My favorite, as you can imagine, moms love coming. It's very cathartic. They laugh a lot. I get to be sort of like the horrible mom that we all sort of like try not to be on a daily basis. My favorite to perform is Edge of Glory, which I do as Edge of Labor. And I do it on piano live, and sometimes Gaga, she's like got her legs in the air, using her feet to like, so I'm very pregnant at the show at this point, and I'm like, got my leg in the air, and I'm on the edge of labor, and I'm having my baby for you, like
Gotcha.
next to the
Wow.
audience,
Yeah,
and
amazing.
it's ridiculous.
It is powerful. Athena Reich, congratulations. And I think I'm going to check out your show because this is like my cup of tea.
What a run. Congratulations
Thank
indeed.
you.
So
And
great to meet you.
people can find information, buy tickets at #artbirth.com.
All right, good luck
Okay.
with it all, Athena.
Awesome.
Thanks, and good luck in your medical career. This is Shallow, Athena Reich impersonating Lady Gaga here on Breakfast.
Something else you're searching for. I'm a falling. In all the good times I find myself. I'd scream it from a mountaintop so everyone would know. I'd hold on to you for dear life. I never let you go. Yeah, if I have one confession, I'm still in love with you, no question. I know I really messed you up.
Well, if she isn't already, Mackenzie Porter is poised to become a household name with her just-released album, Nobody's Born with a Broken Heart. And along with all that buzz, well, it comes with a pretty big gig this year, co-hosting this year's Canadian Country Music Awards. Mackenzie Porter, welcome to CP24 Breakfast. Good to see you, and congratulations on the CCMA co-hosting gig. How big is this for you?
Oh, it's huge. I've been wanting to do it for so long, and finally this year with the record coming out and doing it with Thomas Rhett just like feels like the perfect opportunity and perfect year for me.
Yeah, so that's coming up September 14th. So you got some time to prepare and sort of
Yes.
figure out what you want to bring to it, I suppose.
Totally. We have to work on the scripts and like probably performances and all that kind of stuff, but I'm pumped.
How do you feel about that in terms of, clearly you must be very comfortable performing your music, but what about when you're actually talking and kind of being yourself versus singing and performing like that?
Totally. It'll hit like a different nerve probably in me. I don't know why, like talking is a little bit scarier than singing just 'cause I'm so used to that.
Yeah.
But we'll have it prepped, I'll have rehearsed, it'll be good.
I'm sure you're in very good hands, Mackenzie.
Yeah.
No doubt about that. And you put out a great new album here. Let's talk about this new album, because if some people, maybe haven't heard about you, what can they expect in this album, especially for your fans who are, you have like, your numbers are incredible with your streams and your hits already, but what can your fans expect this time?
Well, it's a 19-song record, so it's a pretty big
ambitious,
record.
yeah.
And it kind of like has, I think, everything on it from like, the songs that you'll probably hear at my concerts that are like up-tempo and fun to lots of heartbreak songs to family songs to songs about my marriage, like everything like that. It kind of hits all those points. So I feel like hopefully everyone can find their song on it.
There's something relatable, clearly. And do you find when you're writing, Mackenzie, like are you creating it from your mind, or are you creating it from your heart and your experiences?
Mostly experiences. Of course, like the odd time you'll get like a lyric that you're like, ooh, that's a clever lyric. Let me like bring that in, and that's a little bit more heady.
Yeah.
But most of the time, it just has to come from the heart to feel real.
Yeah, country music, whether it's in Canada or just sort of internationally right now, seems to be having a big moment. I wouldn't say a resurgence, because I think it's always been big, but you look at the Beyonce album that's come out recently here. What's that like as a country artist when artists like Beyonce and others are sort of turning to put out country albums?
Yeah, I'm pumped about it. I mean, I've always loved the genre, so the more eyes and ears you can get on the music that I love and make, the better for me. So it's good that people are starting to like realize how amazing country music is.
Yeah, no doubt. And we're looking at a series of your videos here as well. As a performer, I'm always curious to know what it's like to sort of get there, and I don't know whether you're lip syncing or just like these concepts for videos. Where does that come from? What's that like? Because this is like the marketing of your music as well.
Yeah, I actually write all the video treatments usually.
Oh, really?
With my director, but we do it together. But I love that part of it. It kind of like brings the song to life. And when I'm writing a song, I'm like always have the video idea like from the get-go. Like, oh, this could be whatever. And so for me, it's really fun. You are lip syncing. Sometimes that's a little awkward.
Yeah.
But I'm used to it.
Absolutely. Let's talk about if people are getting familiar with the name here, you broke the internet when you posted about your false labor start here. That's kind of a wild story if people don't know it. So let people know in on the story, because it's a pretty good one.
So, okay, I just had a baby 7 weeks ago.
Yeah.
And it was, I think I was like, I don't know, very close to, you know, my due date. And I thought my water broke.
Yeah.
I called my family. My family's from Canada. I live in Nashville. And I was like, my water broke. Like, get on a plane. Everyone get here. Because everyone wanted to be there when my daughter was born. And it turns out I just peed my pants. But when you're pregnant, things happen, okay?
That does, right? Yeah,
So my whole family came to Nashville for...
And do your laundry? Or
Yeah, it helped. Yeah,
Right,
so
right.
they stayed there for 2 weeks before, and then finally I had my daughter, and 2 weeks after.
Is this your first?
It's my first,
Well,
yeah.
how's that going?
It's amazing. She's at home with my husband right now. She's literally like the most beautiful little squishy thing ever.
It's amazing,
so
isn't it?
perfect.
Yeah, a whole lot of fun. Let's talk about the Nashville community, because we've had a lot of country stars or blues sort of stars here talking about that the collaborative environment in Nashville, the songwriting, the talent down there. What's it been like for you?
Oh, I mean, you're surrounded by, in my opinion, like the best of the best.
Yeah.
And, you know, you can walk into a coffee shop, a bar, a restaurant, and like there's somebody in there that's incredibly talented. So to be surrounded by that, it automatically just makes you better too, because you're, you know, inspired by people, you're competing with people. I don't know, it just makes you better. And for me, like, Nashville's a place to be if you want to be a songwriter.
And from what I kind of gather about Nashville, it seems like it's kind of a humble place too, right? As much as there's mega music stars there, nobody seems, it's like no big deal. Just like you said, you could walk in and maybe see Sheryl Crow or Kid Rock or whoever, right? It's just sort of full of stars.
Yeah, it really is, and like I feel like people are, you know, see that all the time, so they don't bother people. And yeah, I think there's just so many talented people that you can't really have an ego, because the next person beside you is just as talented.
Right, yeah, it must be a wild environment there. Can I also talk about your shirt, Mackenzie? You had an Ice Cube t-shirt on here. I don't necessarily think that I was expecting a country singer to come in with an Ice Cube shirt on. What's the inspiration behind that?
I'm a big, like, I love band tees. So this was just one that matched the outfit.
Okay.
But I am an Ice Cube fan.
Yeah, absolutely.
You said he was on at one point?
He was on just about a week and a half ago with our GM Lee, because I believe he actually has a show maybe tonight or tomorrow in St. Catharines.
Oh, cool.
So we were talking about that and
Very
his
cool.
musical influence indeed. What about you? You talked about, you know, you're dropping an album. That's got to mean a tour coming shortly behind. What are the plans there?
Yeah, so we have a bunch of tour dates coming up. Like, I'm out with Keith Urban, Parker McCollum. We're announcing a bunch of other tour dates right away, and then I'm going to announce my next headline tour. So I did my first headline tour in the fall last year, and we're going to have another one right away.
Hey, Mackenzie, a lot happening for you. Good luck with the album. Good luck with the CCMAs, and it's been great to meet you this morning.
You too.
Thanks for dropping by breakfast.
Thank you so much. Thank
Good
you.
to meet you. Okay, thank you so much.
Jesus Christ, superstar. Do you think you're what they say you are?
Well, the 50th anniversary production of Jesus Christ Superstar is in Toronto starting tonight. And hey, what an opportunity this morning. We have Jesus and Judas on the couch on CP24 Breakfast. That is Jack Opa, who plays Judas, and Elvie Ellis, who plays Judas. Great to see both of you this morning. I really appreciate that you're here. Of course, you've got the big opening tonight in Toronto. Jesus, I feel like I should start with you. You know, the play is named after you. You're the superstar here. What is this like? You know, 50th anniversary of Jesus Christ Superstar. It's this legendary sort of epic play. Andrew Lloyd Webber, Tim Rice. What's it like to be involved in this anniversary edition?
I mean, it's kind of staggering to be part of such a legacy that's so storied, starting in, you know, circa 1971. Somebody that was my age when they wrote, like 20, 23, 24 when they wrote this show. It's really fantastic to be a part of it, and there's so many famous Jesuses and Judases that have come before us. So to say that we're a part of this show's legacy and to be able to take it around, you know, 2 countries is really incredible.
Yeah. What about you, Elvie? You know, you're playing Judas. Do you have a little bit of Judas in you, or how did you get into this character?
I guess so. Honestly, when I told my mom that, like, I got this role, she goes, "You're going to be great at that." And I was like, "What are you trying to say?" But it's been, honestly, like a dream come true to be able to do this role and to be a part of this production. It's something that I never thought that I'd be able to do, just like vocally. These 2 roles are written as like 2 of the hardest roles in the musical theater canon. And so to be able to do it and and have been able to do it for almost 2 years now with Jack here.
Yes.
It's just like the best.
So how have that last 2 years been? Because you've been traveling around with this show. What's the sort of chemistry like, the fact that you get to work together for so long on this one show in particular?
It's really special. We spend a lot of time together because we're either on the bus together, we stay at the same hotel, all of that stuff. So that's really cool. In our show, the relationship between Jesus and Judas that we want to highlight for the audience is the love and the care that they have for each other in the midst of these like situations that they find themselves in. And so that becomes really, really easy to do when you get to spend so much time with someone and it's someone that you actually really admire.
It's somebody that you really care for.
I can tell that you both do care for each other and have become friends through this, right?
Absolutely. I mean, it's touring is kind of a trial by fire in terms of making friends because, like Elvie said, there's no other job really where you are spending all of your workday and then all of your private time with your coworkers, and traveling with them all the time. So you really forge really strong bonds in just a couple months, let alone 2 years of being able to do it with somebody.
So Jack, obviously this play has been around, like we've been talking about, 50 years here, but keeping a religious theme to us. How true to the original text is this, and how much has this changed? If someone, say, saw Jesus Christ Superstar a couple of decades ago, what's new in your version?
Sure. So I will say, musically, it is probably as close as it can be to the 1971 Brown album. We like to say it's like putting the vinyl on the record player and just letting it spin.
Nice.
There is no intermission. It's 90 minutes straight through, just music. So in terms of being true to the text, it's exactly the same as it was 50 years ago. Production-wise and staging-wise, it is fairly different. I don't think people should expect Jesus to walk out in a flowing robe and sandals 2,000 years ago in Jerusalem. It is a more modern or timeless setting, I would say, and there's a lot more choreography than people might be expecting. But it's like attending a rock concert, honestly, is the best way I could put it.
Well, listen, the music is magical. I'm sure this is going to be a great run in Toronto up until May 12th, starting tonight. Good luck to both of you, Elvie and Jack. Pleasure to meet you. Good luck with this.
Thank you very much.